You don't want to not help them achieve the result that they're wanting to attain. So the way I like to look at challenges is they act like a catalyst for the next program. Basically, what is going to help speed up their results, and something that gives them a micro dose or a micro win on the front end to help them with the next program that we have for sale on the back end.
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singal.
What's up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? Guess who it is? Welcome back to The Fighting Entrepreneur. This is your host, your favorite person in the whole wide world, Anik Singal, back with another amazing episode and another amazing guest. Oh man, I'm excited about today because today we're going to talk about a new kind of funnel. That's right. You know me, I love funnels. I'm a copywriter by nature, so I'm all about anything that has to do with conversion. And there's one funnel I know nothing about, but I see other smart people doing it. I'm curious. So rather than take a ton of time trying to figure it out on my own or pay someone a lot of money, I just simply bribed our guest today with the opportunity to be here, share with you, and then he would give us a free consult. So I'm really excited about that. But before we can dive into that, I need you to right now go to learn.com, LURN.com. Listen, we are the transformational home for entrepreneurs. I'm going to be putting 10 million entrepreneurs into this platform. Do you really want to risk missing out? Do you not want to be a part of that? We are building basically building a family. 10 million people part of your family. We support one another as we go through this journey. So we got tons of courses in there, many that are free, some that are like $7, some that are more. But we're also building out a lot of community features. As of time I'm filming this, we're close to 325,000 members already. So do you really want to just stand by and watch us go right by you? I don't think so. So right now, go ahead, LURN.com, get in there, okay? Get in there right now. There we go. All right, so now let's bring on our guest for the day. We're going to talk about something called challenge funnels, and I'm going to introduce you. See, here's the deal. I like to bring guests on. Sometimes I've known them for years, and sometimes I haven't. But there's no one that I bring on to this that I don't want to myself learn from. That's the cardinal rule I use here at The Fighting Entrepreneur. As a matter of fact, one of the rules I have, and this is for those of you listening who are breaking this rule, is if you ask me to be on the podcast, you automatically get disqualified to be on it. It's a little funny rule I have. It's worked really well for me. I bring people on that I want to learn from, and I only bring people on that I want to get consult from. And that way, I'm able to use my particular scenario and situation, and they consult me. I learn a ton from it. I love it. And you get better questions asked, and we get better experts. So today's expert is someone who I actually saw and met, I should say, through a Facebook ad. Now, you know me, I'm a Facebook advertiser. I should be blind to these things, right? But I'm not. I saw this guy, and right now we'll cut to his picture in his video. Yeah, you see it. You got crown on his head. So if that doesn't get you intrigued, I don't know what will. Got my attention. But it was because he said the words challenge funnel. And I knew for a fact, I've been watching people like Russell Brunson and many others do it, and I'm confused about it. So I started seeing what he's up to. I looked a little bit deeper into it, and I got very intrigued. And I could tell very quickly that he knows what he's talking about. So what did I do? I just added him as a friend. Now, thank God that I've got a little bit of a brand in this world. He added me back, and I messaged him and said, I want to learn from you. We got on a call. We talked for about an hour, and all I knew at the end of that hour is this guy is freaking wicked smart, but we still didn't get my questions answered. So we got him here today. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and help me welcome the king of challenge funnels, the crown of challenge funnels, Mr. Austin Ford. Austin, what's going on, man? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much. Yes, thanks a lot, Anik, for having me on The Fighting Entrepreneur. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to share my knowledge with you to the world. And I thought it was funny. I remember you reaching out to me. You ended up posting on my personal profile, and then you ended up sending me a message, and I was like, who is this guy? Like, who's this guy? And I had one of my friends reach out to me, and they were like, do you know who just posted on your page right now? And I was like, I need to know more. So I went on your website, saw the Learn platform that you guys are building. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely love it. And I'm just excited to be here and share my knowledge with you guys and help get all your guys' questions answered.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you sharing that. And that's one of the things I teach everybody here is that over time, life gets easier because as you build your brand, fortunately, I've been blessed to be doing good for people. And so there was someone in your life that reached out and said, you might want to reply. And so I thank that person. Thank you very much for doing that for me. Now, we have a bit of a tradition here, Austin. So before I even get into asking you what the heck is up with the crown on your head, and for those of you listening on an audio, he legitimately has a crown on his head. We're going to find out more about that. But before we do that, we have a tradition here, the Fighting Entrepreneur. So if you don't mind raising your right hand and repeating after me, sir. I, Austin Ford.
I, Austin Ford.
Do solemnly swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Do solemnly swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
And reveal everything I know about challenge funnels.
And reveal everything I know about challenge funnels.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. All right. Well, listen, let's dive right in. Let's move into round number 1. All right. Round number 1. There we go. He's got his fist up. I like that. First guest to come in really prepared with his fist up. By the way, if you guys want to see what the crown looks like, you got to head over to YouTube. Type in Anik, Singal, Austin Ford, and you got to check this out. So I want to know what makes you the king of challenge funnels. It's quite the statement. And so tell me a little bit about your background and tell me how a crown ended up on your head. Tell me the whole story, man.
Yep, no problem. So about 2 years ago, I had a funnel building agency. Well, I say had, I still have a funnel building agency, but we had a agency and it was a brand new company, just kind of started off really well, got a lot of new clients in the door. But I developed this thing called what I like to say, project surprise anxiety. And basically what happened was that we would basically accept everybody that ended up coming into my agency and saying, yes, we'll build that type of funnel for you, right? It didn't matter what type of funnel it was. It could have been a webinar funnel, squeeze page, high ticket application. And also, I was a little bit undervaluing my services. In fact, we had one person purchase we did a video sales letter for about $1,000, and he ended up writing to 2 Comma Club award with that particular funnel that we bill him. So, but anyways, I ended up getting a little stressed out because we had a lot of new clients kind of coming into the business. We were accepting everything, and I was getting a little stressed out because we had to literally reinvent the wheel each time these people came into our business, right? Because, developing a webinar funnel is completely different than developing, let's say, a product launch formula funnel or a challenge funnel or a, high ticket application funnel, whatever it is, right? They're all different. So I ended up going on a cruise. It was the 2 Comma Club cruise, marketing cruise. Russell Brunson was there. And I ended up meeting this girl on the cruise ship, and I told her about my dilemma. And I was like, I really need to niche down here, and I really need to start charging more for my services, but what should I do? And we started shooting back and forth a little bit. And she was like, well, why don't you do webinar funnels? And I was like, I don't really feel like doing webinar funnels. They're kind of, they're not dying, but they're kind of becoming a not obsolete breed.
I think they're dying. You could say it, dude. They're kind of dying.
And we ended up shooting back and forth. And she was like, why don't you do challenge funnels? And at the time when I was on that ship, I had no idea really what a challenge funnel was, right? My agency had built all these different funnels, but we didn't know what challenge funnel was. So I ended up jumping off the ship and I said, yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the king of challenge funnels, even though I didn't really know what they were. I'm just going to go do that because I at that time never heard of anybody else doing them. So I jumped off the cruise and I ended up purchasing 12 different online challenges just to kind of go through them, see how they're run, see what makes them tick, right? And it was insane. I couldn't keep up with them all. I don't know if anybody here has ever been through an online challenge, but there's usually a lot of content with these online challenges to achieve a certain desired result. So anyways, I ended up dissecting, hacking them, and I completely transformed my entire agency to only build challenge funnels. And then we ended up launching a course. And ever since then, people have called me the challenge funnel king just because I'm a little bit polarific and I wear this crown and people see it and I just put my statement out there. I'm like putting my flag on top of the hill saying, hey, I'm the challenge funnel king. If you guys need help with challenge funnels, come to me. Anyways, we've helped over, I was just looking at the numbers earlier today. We helped over 4 people build challenge funnels so far, and we've had people go out the gate 30, 40, 60, even $100,000 their first month running these online challenges. So
That's
it's
so
been a
crazy.
blast.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it now. Next, we're gonna talk right about what is a challenge funnel. Do you have any idea like how much you've generated in sales from challenge funnels yourself?
We have generated a little over $100,000 just selling our own challenge so far, but we're slowly tweaking that to do a different style, and we will be selling the product for $997 just because the results of the students have been absolutely incredible through that program.
Do you have any idea how much your students have done in total? Like, if you had to rough
How much my
ballpark, is it
students have
like
done in total?
million, 2 million, 5 million,
I
10
want to
million?
say probably like, man, I haven't counted that number up. I mean we've had students kind of come out the gate and then they launch these things, they make a ton of money, and they give us a badass testimonial. But I haven't sat there. If I had to put my finger on it, maybe $1 million so far with all the
Wow,
students.
that's so crazy. Um, okay, man. Well, let's move right into round number 2. So, round number 2, give me the overall picture. Just what? Let me ask you an open-ended question. What the heck is a challenge funnel?
Okay, good question. This is the number one question I get asked actually when people join the challenge fund group. So basically, a challenge is a daily series of steps that gets people from point A all the way to point Z, right? Over a certain period of time to achieve a certain result. So they can be anywhere between 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 30 days. And we've even seen challenges as low as 5 days convert like clockwork. So,
Okay. So give me a better visual. Let's do I'm Sam. I'm skipping around Facebook, looking around. I see an ad. I click it. Walk me through a visual. Give me a visual of what it would look like and how I would go from scanning
exactly.
Facebook to becoming a buyer.
All right, I got a great analogy here. All right, so let's say that you are let's say that you are a online coach and you help online personal trainers, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
help them scale their online personal training business to get them $10,000 a month. That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's your high end result. And that program costs $5,000. That's what you really want to sell people, right? Now, it's really hard to get people to go to a webinar, register for the webinar, watch the entire webinar, jump on a phone call with you, and then sell them that $5,000 program. That's a lot to ask for somebody to actually sit through, a 2 or 3 hour presentation. So by doing a challenge funnel, you can identify that, hey, I've realized that what keeps my ideal client up at night is because they are tired of working day in and day out at the gym, right? They're working for an hourly wage, and they're spending time for money, and they want to learn. They see that they can make a bigger impact online, but they don't know how to transition to online, right? So I identify that these personal trainers need to one. Figure out how do I start my online business and how do I generate my first couple of leads. So I might want to make a 10-day challenge on, hey, I'm going to show you how to start your online training business, transition to online, and how you can get your first 15 leads with Facebook ads in just 10 days, right? That's a challenge. And usually a challenge is a low barrier offer. So you're usually only asking them for 50, $100 just to get them in the door, right? You deliver the result. So they see, let's say, your Facebook ad, and they see that, hey, you got a challenge. It's going to help them start their online business. They've been dreaming about this, but their biggest concern is, how do I get clients, right? How do I get new people into my business? You get them into the challenge. You take them through those series of simple daily tasks day by day to achieve the ultimate result. And then at the end of the 10 days, there's a lot more that goes into your program, right? Because just because they learned how to get those leads doesn't mean they know how to sell those leads, doesn't mean they know how to have the systems in place to run an online training business, right? How do they do the delivery? How do they do continuous lead gen? Things like that. That's your $5,000 program. But what you've essentially done is get them into a challenge, get them a quick win, and then now they become your raving fan forever because you got them a result. They got to know, like, and trust you. You've built your authority as an expert in the field. And now it's much more easier to convert those people to your $5,000 program.
Got it. Okay. So let's we'll come back and talk about some of the other questions I've got. I'm going to throw something out at you that we're currently working on in the company, and if you're open to it, I want to see how you would deploy a challenge funnel for it. So in 2020, we are launching our first ever incubator program at Learn. I'm pretty excited about it. I wouldn't write my name down on it just yet. We're going through a lot of the details of it. So for anyone listening, it's coming, and it might be Jan, might be Feb, I'm not sure, but it's a legitimate incubator. I mean, this is the kind of thing that we were saying, like, you can replace college with this. Like, screw that and go here and get a skill set that's tremendously awesome. It's lead generation. We're going to show them the process of getting a lead, getting an offer up, getting something up that can capture leads, and then we're going to really show them how to do Facebook ads and YouTube ads. And it comes with a lot of support structure, a lot of back and forth, a lot of individual help, and it's very, very organized. The way that I've ever and it's an expense, not a cheap program. It's an expensive program. We're talking $5,000 to $10,000 is probably what it's going to be positioned at, because it's got a lot of support structure behind it that we have to pay for. So the way I've ever sold any of these programs is, obviously I've taken leads from ads to a webinar, and at the end of the webinar, there's an offer for them to book a call to talk to our team to see if they qualify and to see if it's a good fit. Then I have an advisors team that calls them, and we make a transaction happen. It's worked well for me. It's done good. I'm not complaining. But the ad cost that goes into it, it's a pretty big drag. It can eat up about 30 to 45% of your overall. So people are like, oh my God, you're charging me $5,000. That's so much. They don't realize it cost me $2,000 just to freaking in Facebook ads to get the sale. And that's before I have to pay all the people involved. So I start to think about this, and I realize you are going to, you talk about charging ahead of time. So I'm like, wow, I could recover some of my ad cost. But at the same time, I'm teaching someone how to do Facebook ads. I mean, what does a challenge look like here? What could my win be? Because if I teach them how to do Facebook ads, first of all, it's a lot to try to teach someone in a short challenge and actually get them results. There's so many things that stand between them and that. Plus, then, like, why do they need me? That comes up really quickly as a question. So what kind of a challenge comes to your mind for something like this?
So what I'm thinking is this is actually one of the biggest. So when people come to me and they're wondering, what should my challenge be? This is the hardest thing to come up with, right? Because it's a finite line. It's a double-edged sword. You don't want to give too much information away, especially if you're only charging, anywhere between $47 to $297 on the front end for this thing. Because if you give too much away, then they're not going to buy whatever you have for sale next, right? They're going to walk away and feel like, hey, I got everything that I need.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you don't want to not help them achieve the result that they're wanting to attain. So the way I like to look at challenges is they act like a catalyst for the next program. Basically, what is going to help speed up their results, and something that gives them a micro dose or a micro win on the front end to help them with the next program that we have for sale on the back end. So if we think strategically about this, and we look at, for example, Peng Jun's video challenge. He has a 21-day video challenge, and his challenge is all about making these 21 videos so people have an advantage in the marketplace, right? Because he's saying videos perform better. But what he doesn't do is teach them how to market with those videos. He gets them to create the videos during the challenge for $100, 21 videos. But then his program afterwards, I believe it's called the content multiplier, he sells because they need the videos first before they actually buy that program. Does that make sense? It acted like a catalyst.
Makes perfect sense. So if you look at our incubator, one of the core areas where I have found myself having to work with local businesses or even online businesses or marketers, people come to us and say they want to know how to do Facebook ads. And then when we say, what's your offer? What's your landing page? They'll show us like their main sales page, or they'll show us and we're like, you need to do lead generation. Like, you need to warm them up. You need to have an opt-in, or you need an offer, like consultants, like you need something to get people in. And so the first part of our program is actually offer creation and just getting what is your, what are you going to be promoting on YouTube or Facebook? So what if our challenge was around that? But that doesn't sound too sexy to me. Like, I feel like no one's going to buy that. because we're not then talking about Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Right. And then I thought, well, what if we actually help them create their first ad? They don't. It doesn't even have to go on Facebook. It's just we help them create an ad. We show them how to just physically create an ad. That's it.
So the way to make people buy these things, right, is you have to give a result that, again, it needs to be a very targeted audience, a very specific result in a very specific amount of time. I call this the hyper-focused result. So there's three things, again: very specific avatar, very specific pain that you are solving in a very specific amount of time. That's what makes challenges so powerful, because people, let's just be honest, the information age is dying. It's not dying. There's just tons of information out there for free everywhere. What people are more concerned now is having a program that somebody's helping them and hand-holding them through how to implement to get the result that they really want. That's what's making these challenges tick. So for you, I would do two things. Number one, we need to talk about what's your back end offer. What is it that you really want to sell them on the back end? And then we can really figure out what's on the front end. And then on the front end, the way to make this really sexy is just to have those three things in it, right? So for example, if I was to do a Facebook ads challenge, it would be, hey, online trainers, or it would be online trainers, how you can get your first 10 leads using Facebook ads in 10 days, right? Boom. That's the hyper-focused result. What do they really want? They want leads, right? I mean, there's some deeper reasons why they want those leads, but they need the leads. And you're teaching them on the platform they want to be on, and you're telling them it's going to get done in X amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Yeah, so some thought process to be done there, because I can't physically ever, I don't think I can do that. I've been teaching Facebook ads to people for years now, and I don't think I could get someone taught brand new on how to do Facebook ads and get 10 leads from Facebook in 10 days. It's just not something I've ever seen done. So I'd be curious to see how you break that down, but make it sexy. We have other things, like, for example, in our company, we have a program that's doing so well that's by Ty Cohen, and that's our Kindle Cash Flow program. So there's a lot of very specific things we could help people do. But let's move on. I want to ask some questions. I want to get into the actual funnel itself and talk some numbers. Round number 3, let's talk about the funnel itself. So you've mentioned that the front end can be anywhere between 47 to 97. Do you have a particular preference though? Like, kind of, if you had a gun to your head and you had to pick one, what would you pick for the front end price?
What would I pick for the front end? Well, $100 right off the bat.
$100. Okay.
Just because what it does is it offers a low barrier offer. Grant Cardone talks about this. He says that too many times people start a new company up and then they want to charge a lot of money for consulting services or for a brand new product that comes out, right? $997, $1,997. And it doesn't give people an opportunity to really test the waters and see, one, hey, do I like this person? Two, can they really deliver on the type of result that I want? So having a low barrier offer gets more customers in on the front end, right? And let's be honest, buyers are buyers. They continue to buy from you. So the more people you get on the front end to buy from you, the more potential you have more people to buy from you on the back end.
Got it. Okay. What does this page look like? Is this a written sales letter? Is it a video sales letter? Give me a visual of the page. Is it a, okay, by the way, do I go from ad?
I wish I could pull up some slides right now because I got these awesome slides. But what I can tell you is there's 6 different models out there. Do you want me to go through all the models? Because these are all different. I mean,
give me your favorite one. Give me one that you use the most. We can't probably not go through all 6 of them.
I'll give you my 2 favorite ones. My first favorite one is it's just basically, I call it a hybrid challenge funnel. Basically, all it is it's a video sales letter. It has a video at the top, and then it has also the long form sales letter on the bottom selling the challenge. Why do I like this one? Because it offers variety. It offers different angles for different types of people. Some people like to watch video. Some people like to read. Some people like to hear the video and then skim through the page and then decide if they want to make a purchase or not. So that's my number one favorite. My second favorite is a free challenge. That free challenges are just as powerful as actually paid challenges. I've seen people make a ton of money with them. And a free challenge is super simple because it's just a squeeze page for people to opt in for, and then they start the live. It's either a live challenge or evergreen challenge, depending on what they're doing.
Okay. So now, if the main, so on the option number one, which was just straight up sales page, do you go straight from ad to sales page, or do you try to do a squeeze page in between to get leads, or no, just straight ad to sales page?
So right now we are driving traffic to our challenge sales page, right? I can tell you right now, what we do is we have the ads, we promote the ads, we get clicks to the sales page. And what I've seen is people need to have exposure to your product or your service or where you're going to try to serve them at least probably 5 to 7 times. So heavy on the retargeting ads after they hit your page. Lots of testimonials, lots of continued education, and then lots of pitches back to the challenge has worked tremendously. Right now, it's costing us $93 to acquire a paying customer on the front end, while we are average cart value is upwards to $250.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so got it. I see how that works. So you are going.
That average cart value did not include back end sales.
So that was going to be my next question. So we understand how the ad looks. The ad goes straight to the sales page. Do you have a bump offer? So is there something that right before they check out that you try to bump them up to?
Yes. Do you want to know? Do you want to know these keywords that I keep telling my students to use, and we keep getting these awesome results utilizing the bump? We've seen it anywhere between 60 to 85% uptake.
Yeah, of course I want to know it.
Those words, these are the magic words. Unfair advantage. When people know that they have some type of cheat or hack that's going to help them against all the other challengers that are doing the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Using unfair advantage seems to skyrocket the bump. So
That's
yes,
smart,
of course,
dude.
we do offer a bump on the sales page.
So I'm going to put this into test.
I would be a good marketer if I didn't offer a bump.
I'm going to put this into test. I could do it right now. We have so much volume coming to one of our offers, and we have a great bump, and it's converting already at like above 50%. But we don't have these two words there. What's a good price point for your bump? Let's say $100 is the front end. What do you like to price the bump at?
$37 all day long.
$37. All right. Now, what happens after that? You got to upsell one?
Yes. So a lot of people screw this up because they sell a challenge and then they don't have any bumps or upsells, right? You want to increase the average cart value as much as possible because that's money you can put back into your funding. Basically, all a challenge funnel is, or it should be, is a self-liquidating offer. That's it. It should be helping you pull in new customers on the front end. So you want to increase the average cart value as much as possible. So I could speak for me, and then I could speak for some others too. For the one-time offers, this is nuts too. I can't believe I'm giving this information away. This is like for high level. But anyways, this is what we do. We like to do a lot of seeding for our challenge because let's be honest, the purpose of a challenge is to get people to know, like, and trust you and then buy more of your stuff in the back end, right?
Yep.
So what we like to do is seed as much as possible during the challenge about what they should be doing after the challenge and getting the next challenge. We have a one-time offer that's converting at 35% because we are offering them a $500 gift card to the next program we are selling on the back end.
I like that.
Yes, and they're getting other bonuses in there as well. Number one thing to think about when you're creating your one-time offer is what's the next itch that you need to scratch. So our biggest next itch is, okay, I'm learning how to build a challenge funnel, but how do I drive traffic? So that's basically what we're delivering, plus that gift card inside the one-time offer.
What's the price point of this?
$297.
$297. That's a killer conversion for $297. 35%. That's awesome. Do you have a downsell if they say no to this?
3 payments of 97.
3 payments of 97. Do you have a second upsell?
We keep flopping it out for different things. We've had one upsell for 997. It was converting at 4%. That one we were giving away. It was a VIP day with me. Original price 1,500, but we're knocking it down 500. That was converting at 4%, but we ended up taking it out because, I could do better things.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It sounded like a lot of
2 hours here, 2 hours there. Just
sounded a lot of work. Yeah, I hear you. Man, that's awesome. So now the goal, you've told me, I'm going to go back and we're going to talk a little bit about the visual again so I can understand it. So the goal is to really, you had told me on a call that it's to pick up leads for your high ticket. So when they come in, we're going to talk about what the actual funnel, like what the challenge itself looks like. But when they're at the end of that challenge, what do they do? What do you like to do with them? Opt them into a webinar, call them on the phone, and what price point do you like to have to sell them after that?
Yeah. So I've been through a lot of different challenges and we've tried a lot of different things. And what I can tell you is there's 2 main models. The first model, there's 2 main models. First model is presentation to a order page, right? And that's if you're going to be selling a product from $497 all the way to $1,997. Yep. Anything more than that, I suggest getting them on a phone call with you. And that would be basically the same exact thing. Presentation to now an application, right? For a phone call.
Got it.
We have seen a free challenge. It's a 5-day challenge. The guy is insane. Basically what he does on the first day is it's all about visualization, right? Where does this person want to be 1 year from now? And he actually has them fill out the form and they submit it during the challenge. At the end of the challenge, the whole challenge is gathered around attaining leads. How do they get their first, 10 to 15 leads online, right? At the end of the challenge, he gets them to pay for what's called an implementation training. It's basically a webinar. He's making people pay for a webinar to teach them how to sell the leads that they got during the challenge. And it's very high level stuff. And the implementation training is a giant perfect webinar or a giant sales pitch for them to jump on a phone call with them so he can sell them his $5,000 program, which he does not discuss price until they get on the phone call.
So the 2 models that you said, one was presentation to either application or order page, and the second model is the implementation training model that you just said. Is that right?
No. So the ones that I went over was presentation to order page or presentation to application page.
Got it. Okay. What's the second
model?
model?
I just mentioned was one of my 6 different models. This is actually called a reverse challenge funnel. So basically people are joining a free challenge, paying to watch the webinar, and then it's a high ticket application to the next thing. Very qualified people come through that.
Yeah, that's slick. I like it. Cool. Well, I want to just reinstate one figure for us. You had said right now that you are acquiring users on Facebook for $90 some. Can you give that data again? And they're turning into how much?
250 on average on the front end.
And how much was it to acquire? 94? Is that what you said?
90. It was like 93.
93. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's almost that's basically a 3x ROI on the front end, as we would call it. And I mean, none of my models that sell product on the front do I have a 3x ROI. Usually my 3x ROI kicks in after my back end is there. So this is pretty incredible numbers. You're at a 3x ROI before the back end even is being talked about. So, exactly. So yeah, definitely something I need to figure out for.
And this is a newer model we had just launched. So we are still testing the waters but it's starting to crank up, and we have our ads team is starting to slowly creeping up the ad spend for this particular funnel.
That's awesome, man. All right, so what I want to do is I want to move into round number 4, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the tech and the challenge itself. So round number 4, the tech and the challenge itself. I'm a visual person, so let's talk this through. So let's go for I'm going to talk it out and I'm going to pause at where I want you to fill in the spot. See a Facebook ad, land on your sales page, video on top, sales page. I buy $100 challenge, go through your bump, go through your upsell. Maybe I buy, maybe I don't. Now I've bought. Now what happens? Like, are you running these challenges every week? Is it a manual process? Is it a drip fed content? Is it just every day a new video opens up? How do you run a challenge? What's the tech behind it? And how is the consumer engaging with you? Plus, if I bought today, it's a Monday, does the challenge start Tuesday? But if I bought on Tuesday, does my challenge start Wednesday? Like, is it a evergreen challenge? Like, walk me through some of that.
That's a great question. All right. So there's two different types of challenges that you can run. You have the evergreen model, which basically when people purchase, they get to start right away and the content gets dripped out to them, right? That's an evergreen. A live challenge, if you can pull off a live challenge, they are much more powerful because people are able to start at the same time and they finish at the same time. And there's also a bunch of other things like camaraderie. They help each other out. They push each other through the challenge. Like it's a really awesome experience. And the conversions are much better on the back end. So my recommendation is doing a live challenge. If I was to give an example, let's do Peng Joon's 21-day video challenge. His is a live challenge. He runs it every month on the first like clockwork, and it goes for 21 days, right? So when people join the challenge, they can purchase anytime during the month, but it's going to start on the first. So if they purchase, early at the beginning of the month, there's a long wait time for that person. But typically what's smart is to provide them some pre-training before the challenge actually starts so they can consume some information and get that ready before they actually start the challenge. Most purchases, usually because there's real scarcity built in these live challenges, most purchases will come on the last 3 or 4 days when the timer starts to get closer and closer to run out.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. So I like that. So live challenge.
Can I go back and answer your first question now about like what happens after they purchase?
Well, real quick before you do that, so hold that thought. I can understand how a live challenge works. I guess you're just sending out emails every day and sending them the content of the day. Evergreen, what kind of tech are you running? Is that like a native feature inside of ClickFunnels, or like how do you run an evergreen challenge?
It's not too difficult. It is a native functionality inside ClickFunnels, but basically, like if I was to just break it down, bare bones minimum, really great email autoresponder to a web page where they can go and watch a video and then have under that video the implementation that they have to do for that day.
Okay. So you can do it without any software at all. Like it's literally just an autoresponder with some pages, and they can't move ahead because they don't know what the pages are. So they'll have to wait till that page opens. Okay. Yeah. So 5-day challenge or 21-day challenge. I'm in Peng's challenge. I'm doing stuff every day. The real money is obviously made somewhere on day 22 or whenever. So what happens after that?
Yeah. So basically I like to call them 5 core phases of a challenge funnel. These are the 5 phases. First phase is the funnel. It's the funnel itself, the sales page, right? It's part of the funnel. Sales page. You got to get them to buy, or if it's free, you got to get them to opt into your challenge. Phase number 2 is what's called the onboarding phase. Phase number 2, basically, you tell people, hey, the challenge is starting on XYZ date. Make sure you're in this Facebook group. Make sure you sign up on this membership site, whatever, step 1, 2, 3, whatever they got to do to prepare. Now, if it's a live challenge, there's usually 3 onboarding emails. Just reminding people that, hey, remember, we're starting this again soon. You purchased this 5 days ago. It's starting tomorrow, right? A evergreen challenge has 1 onboarding email that just gets sent out right away. Make sure they, confirm purchase, make sure you do these things, and your challenge is starting, tomorrow or today. After that, there's the pre-training phase. So not all challenges need pre-training. I would recommend pre-training if you need to give your challengers some type of foundational work or foundational elements or understanding before the actual challenge starts. Okay. So if your topic's a little bit complex, it's probably a good idea to throw in some type of pre-training.
Okay.
Then there's the challenge content. Challenge content gets dripped out just the way we talked about it. Usually there's a notification first. followed by the content that they're going to be consuming for that day, followed by the implementation, followed by the engagement. Engagement's very important during challenges, just because you want other people to realize, hey, I'm not the only one going through this, and here's the other people getting results. So if you can build an engagement somehow, it rocks. Then the last phase is called the ascension training. I call it the ascension training. This is where you take them from the challenge to the pitch, where whatever product you're going to tell them to consume now. Now, with each phase here, there is a series of emails, right? That people get, a soap opera sequence. Do you understand what I mean when I say soap opera sequence?
Yep.
So a soap opera. Think of the challenge emails as a giant soap opera to get people ready for the next thing. Okay. Then after they're done with the challenge, they go into another soap opera to pitch them the next product and the webinar, or the presentation, however you're presenting it, right? So they show up, there's a presentation, you probably want to send some emails out about the replay, and then you want to follow up with testimonials and things for your next program. And then after that, they become buyers in your next program, and then probably logically there should be another soap opera leading up to maybe like an inner circle or a very high ticket thing, because it's constant.
Are you talking, okay, so let's say on day 22 I have this webinar, right? And so is the webinar positioned as part of the challenge? So is it kind of like throughout the challenge, do you keep telling them about this webinar that's happening on day 22 and building hype throughout the 21 days? Or is it something you pop up right at the end of the challenge? You're like, bonus webinar for you to finish because you finished the challenge.
Nope. So this is very key. And thank you for bringing this up. Super important. Your presentation that you give after the challenge needs to be built in to what they are purchasing on the front end. So what do I mean by this? When we were running the Challenge Creation Bootcamp 14-day challenge, what we did was we teach people how to build a challenge, right? But then afterwards, they're going to be wondering, okay, I got my challenge. How do I launch traffic to this, right? So in our stack, we included challenge launch secrets, and it was a bonus, right? That's the webinar to sell the next thing.
What is your challenge, by the way? So I'm curious, like in your challenge, because I feel like you would face a similar issue to what I face. If in 14 days you've taught someone how to build a challenge, why do they need you? Or worse yet, in 14 days, if you built the challenge with them, then you're saying the main thing you come in and offer them is the ability on how to market the challenge? Like, yeah, what's your challenge?
Sure. So you got to think about it this way. What is holding them back right now from the next thing, right? So if I go back to Peng Joon's 21-day video challenge, his challenge is for them to get marketing videos done. And in his stack on the front end, he has I forget what the training is called, but it's something to do with his content multiplier formula. Like, what do you do with these 21 videos when you're done? Here's the next level training, right? They watch that, and then it's basically, they think it's part of the training, but all it is a presentation to move on to the next program if they want to take it, right?
So in yours, what are you having them do in 14 days?
Yes. So for us, we have a 14-day challenge that we pull people through and get them to basically walk through how to build and create a challenge, right? And have a challenge funnel, right? The last thing that's holding people back is, how do I launch this now? What if I don't know how, what if I don't know how to market this? What if I don't know how to, what if I don't know how to run ads? What if I don't have a list? A lot of objections come up after they create this challenge, right? So our next thing is that we built in the stack was called challenge funnel, or excuse me, what was it? It was challenge traffic secrets or something like that. I have to look again. I'm having a break right now. But anyways, it had to do with traffic. So it was a logical next thing for them to move on to the next step.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. I think after listening to, first of all,
Fill your challenge secrets. That's what it's called. Excuse me.
got it. So first of all, I want everyone to see this. I got 2 pages of notes. All right. So Austin, you've been awesome, man. The amount of data and the numbers and the details you're sharing. The last time I remember a guest being this outright, just with everything, was Josue Pena. And he was one of my favorite guests I've had on. So you have just literally leapfrogged to one of my favorite guests because of the fact that you're just a giving attitude, man. You're just showing all the numbers. And I love it. Thank you. Because you've made me have major epiphanies. And you're right. Now that I've heard the whole thing through, the challenge with the challenge funnel, no pun intended, is you got to figure out that right topic to have a challenge on. Because in my company, the 2 things I love teaching the most are copywriting and traffic. And in copywriting also, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, God, what would a challenge be for copywriting? And then in traffic, I'm sitting here thinking, God, what would a traffic challenge be that's sexy enough that someone wants to buy, but that can also deliver a result? Like Pangs it makes perfect sense. You can get someone and teach them how to make a video in an hour, right? And then it's just like make a video a day. It just makes perfect sense. It's simple, it's concrete. And then he says, okay, now let me show you how to take this video and turn it into an empire. And so I think for anyone watching and listening, that is really powerful. I'm kind of coming to a close here. We're going to go into the last round, which is really just all about you and how our members and our students and Learn Nation can connect with you. Is there anything else, any pertinent information about challenge funnels that you really want to get out there?
Yeah, I do want to say that challenge funnels, they can be a little difficult to set up, but once you get them rolling, I swear they're the most profitable front end funnel that you can have in your business, period.
No, I believe you, man. I mean, I would love to maybe even one of these days book a call with you, pay you for your time and sit there and talk about, what are programs that we're selling and how. I think that's the part where I would need the most help is like, what could be a good challenge here? Because I love the idea of getting them results. It's something I struggle with students all the time is people love buying courses and they buy them like we buy books at Barnes and Nobles and come home and put it right on the stack and just walk away. And it doesn't allow me to build momentum in the company because the way I get to build raving fans is you got to do what I teach you to do and get results. Only then do you go out and talk about it. You're absolutely right. So I love the fact that execution, implementation, and results are built into your funnel from the get-go. And so for that, I want to say big congratulations. Let's move into round number 5. Round number 5 is all about Austin Ford. People want more Austin, man. They want more. They want to connect with you. They want to learn from you, and they want to throw money at you. So where do they go? How do they do it?
All right, cool. So we have basically all they got to do is go to challengesecrets.com, www.challengesecrets.com. I have a 4-part video series explaining exactly how these challenge funnels work. It's a free training. And I also go through really in depth how some of the top converting challenge funnels are being run and how much income they're producing. I actually go through, it's called behind the scenes of $1 Million Challenge Funnels. And we actually dissect one of them does $150,000 a month. Another one's doing $500,000 a month. And a third one, I forget exactly how much, but it's insane, these things.
The one doing $500,000, what market is that in? Do you is it in the internet marketing community?
Challenge.
That's a what?
That's the OFA challenge.
OFA. What's OFA?
One funnel away.
Okay. That's Russell's challenge. Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about social media? Like any other sites? I know you've thrown out your agency site before. Do you want to throw that out there?
Yeah. So if anybody wants to do a private VIP session with me, just go to austinhookmeup.com and they can get in touch with me and I can sit down with them and actually with them and their team. Important to bring their team along to just kind of dissect and go through this and see how this particular model will fit into your business.
Austin, AUSTIN, hookmeup.com. Awesome. Any social media platforms you're active on?
Yes. Facebook, Austin Ford HQ, and then Instagram, Austin Ford HQ.
Austin Ford HQ on Facebook.
Ford, F-O-R-D, like the truck.
Yep. Oh, F-O-R-D. Sorry. Yeah, your last name. That would make sense, right?
I drive around in a Chevy.
I almost feel like you're contractually required to have a Ford. All right. Listen, man, it has been such an honor to have you. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. The data has been, I love data. Like I said, I'm a funnel guy. I'm a number guy. I'm a conversion guy. And right now, I got to tell you, Austin, probably if I don't sleep tonight, it's going to be because of you, because I got to figure out a challenge. I got to figure out something that, like you said, what are the 3 things you said right here? Hold on. Don't tell me. Avatar, specific pain, specific time. I got to figure that formula out for something that we're working on here at Learn. So thank you for sharing that, everybody. If you're watching this on YouTube, come on. Leave a comment right now. Tell Austin how appreciative you are of what he did. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, hit the thumbs up icon. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, please make sure you subscribe and leave us a great review. Make sure you head over to learn.com, LURN.com. And of course, for all of our show notes, go to anikpodcast.com, ANIK podcast, PODCAST.com. Get over there. You'll see show notes from this one and all of our 100+ episodes that we've already done. Thank you so much, Austin. And again, guys, remember, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. This is Anik Singal signing off. Until next time, come on, go out there and fight for your dreams.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.